What makes you think you can win?
I have to win or my donors will destroy my Warhawk enterprise. And why did you have to go and call me a bird brain?
He called me DeSanctimonious for a really long time.
That's fine heels.
You're a neocon, Nikki. You simp for globalists, open borders, and illegal immigration. And
My brown people are not illegal.
What's up, guys? Your boy Benny. Let's say you were drunk at a bar and you drank so much you challenged the biggest guy in the bar to a fight, and you thought you had your little friends behind you, and you turned around and your friends are actually fighting with the big dude. Your friends are actually fighting against you. Your friends have turned on you and they are ready to beat your ass. You are about to get schlonged, ladies and gentlemen, and that was a bad decision. That is the bad decision that Nikki Haley took last night when she got defeated absolutely in a bloodbath in her home state. Red counties are Trump, yellow counties are Haley, and ladies and gentlemen, this is what it looks like when a Democrat runs in the Republican primary process. Donald Trump wins by an absolutely dominant 20-plus points on Nikki Haley. All of the polls were right. Donald Trump absolutely and totally dominant in Nikki Haley's home state, where Democrats were allowed to vote. And the only reason that Nikki Haley got this number of votes was because of Democrats. Didn't matter. Donald Trump still came through and clobbered Nikki Haley. Trump crushes Nikki Haley in her home state just seconds after the polls closed. We won in a landslide. How bad was it? One final little thing before I show you the meltdowns here, ladies and gentlemen, because the liberal press are absolutely losing their minds. Again, check out these headlines. Donald Trump hands Nikki Haley a whooping in her home state. Check out Fox News. Fox News, doing their reporting on this last night, didn't even have the time for the anchors to introduce themselves before they called it for Donald Trump. So Fox News switches over to their election night primary coverage, and they're like, hold up, Donald Trump's already won. We don't even have time to say hello to you.
It is 7 p.m. here on the East Coast, and the polls are officially closed in the state of South Carolina. Good evening. I'm Brett Baer.
And good evening, everybody. I'm Martha McCallum, live here at Fox News headquarters in New York for our special coverage of the South Carolina Republican primary. And the Fox News decision desk can now project that former President Donald Trump will win the state's GOP primary. Trump now has 3 times as many delegates as former Governor Nikki Haley. And then with these tonight, he could add up to 50 more.
Amazing how it's like, hi, I'm, sorry, don't have time for that. Donald Trump wins, right? And Nikki Haley loses in one of the most calamitous and disastrous showings yet. This is in her home state, so it is particularly painful. A reminder that Nikki Haley lost to none of the above in Nevada. Nikki Haley is not a Republican. She is a Democrat. She's a Democrat running with Democrat money, Democrat voters, and Democrat policies. Massive Trump chants break out in Donald Trump headquarters at the South Carolina State Fairgrounds. People packed in, and ladies and gentlemen, the momentum is officially here. What do we have next? Well, what we effectively have next is the media coping, seething, and acknowledging that Donald Trump is creating the greatest political comeback in human history. Donald Trump has accomplished the greatest political comeback in American political history. Donald Trump is in the history books for his dominant win in South Carolina last night, getting the most votes ever for any single candidate in South Carolina. Also the first Republican to have beat a former governor and politician, statewide politician in South Carolina. Donald Trump racking in the fastest win in a contested South Carolina primary. So history, and now Donald Trump making even more history. Even MSNBC admits it. Watch.
Trump delivering a crushing blow to Haley in her home state on Saturday, trouncing her by nearly 20 points with nearly 60% of the vote. The former president dominating nearly every key group in the South Carolina Republican primary electorate, according to NBC News exit poll results. Trump now setting his sights squarely on the general election.
Trouncing, dominant, crushing. Donald Trump was all of those things last night. And also, ladies and gentlemen, it is important to note that the polling that they talk about here from the Republican standpoint was devastating for Democratic talking points. CNN unhappy that 70% of people in South Carolina believe Joe Biden did not win the 2020 presidential election. They're upset because their power is gone, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they are angry at. They are raging because they have lost the ability to psyop, trick, and to manipulate the American public. This is what they're raging about.
You think Biden legitimately won the 2020 election? Here in South Carolina, in this primary today, only a third, 32%, say that he did legitimately win. Only a third give the correct answer to this question. 2/3, 65%, wrongly say that Joe Biden did not legitimately win the 2020 election, but that is what they believe, obviously, after hearing so much of that from Donald Trump and others. Again,
oh, wow, people think that the system is rigged? Oh, wow, amazing. Why would people think that the system is rigged? Just our preferred candidate has 4 indictments, $450 million in civil fines, 90% negative news coverage from places like CNN, trying to remove him from the ballot, which has never happened in American history, this side of the Civil War, threats against his 75 million plus supporters, more like 100 million plus supporters. Maybe there's a reason why people think the system is rigged against Donald Trump, okay? Nikki Haley got bodied by 20 points in her home state, and MSNBC is still spinning it as a disaster for Trump. Look at these people. These numbers are a disaster for Trump, Lawrence O'Donnell says about the South Carolina primary win. Why? Donald Trump won in historic margins on every single conceivable demographic, and these numbers are Democrats voting for Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley is buoyed only by Democrat support. The panic is officially setting in at CNN. The meltdown in this particular segment on CNN is absolutely delicious. Look at the number of people they pack onto a panel here. The overwhelming results, the greatest political comeback in history, it doesn't make any sense. CNN, cope and seethe. Let's go.
Victory speech, overwhelming results in South Carolina. We called it right at the top of the hour as soon as the polls closed. Back to the team here in New York. Listen, you've heard a lot of Trump speeches?
Yeah, I mean, RIP the Reagan GOP. There's something so jarring about watching Lindsey Graham and Tim Scott, all of who condemned him after January 6th, lining up to do their best campaign rally impersonation.
But what he's doing right now is embarrassing. And I think this is not the Tim Scott that we know. But you also see this happen with many men and women who actually find themselves in this Trump orbit. I mean, this is not who Lindsey Graham, we knew Lindsey Graham to be before.
He wouldn't even show his face in Munich this time, after years and years going with John McCain to the conference that celebrates the NATO alliance. He wouldn't even show up.
But there is a segment of lifelong Republicans who are mortified by what Tim Scott's doing. We are definitely the minority. You're absolutely right, Scott. But there are some of us who are like, we thought you were one of the good ones. We thought you were going to tell the truth. I want to know his answer to certifying the election question. That's fundamental. It just doesn't work.
I think one of the things we're doing for Nikki is we're actually lowering the bar as we go around because she just got pummeled in her home state. And I understand about the...
Also, you abandoned Ukraine. Here you have a military state, and you have Ukrainians losing cities, losing ground, and the only Republican in the country saying, for God's sake, do not abandon democracy. For God's sake, do not abandon Ukrainians to Putin's butchers, is Nikki Haley. And she just got destroyed in a military state.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I love watching actually corporate media these days. It is kind of like a direct insight into like the psychiatrist's couch of the left. They cannot believe that the ecosystem and the little hermetically sealed bubble that they live inside is being burst once again. But the energy is actually bigger than 2016. The energy is greater, and more people are awake every single day. Are you feeling that energy? I certainly am. God bless this movement. God bless the America First movement. It is time for us to say no more. No more to America last. No more to the destruction of our nation by a political ideology that doesn't care about you or me, that only cares about enriching and engorging themselves off of our treasure. Enough. Enough. We are ascendant, they are destructive, and it is going to be so wonderful to fill my cups with their tears, and I sip them and drink them all day long, ladies and gentlemen. And CNN tears are just the tastiest. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.